Szanowni Państwo, serdecznie witam wszystkich i I'm very grateful that I was invited to this great anniversary. It's a great honor.
Bardzo dziękuję za przyjęcie i za zaproszenie na tę uroczystość.
The Polish anthem, which we also know by heart, all the people who love freedom, says, "Iще Polska nie zginęła." And this is the dilemma that countries that I happen to represent at the same time, my own native country of Georgia as well as Ukraine, always had. So we have full solidarity what Poles might feel, because that's exactly the story of survival and all the time on the edge, to be or not to be, to exist or not to exist. And we've disappeared from the map very often, all too often, just like Poland, but we always came back just like Poland.
Bardzo ważne. Wszyscy walczyliśmy o wolność i w tej chwili jej powoli dotrzymujemy, dostajemy tą wolność, o którą tak bardzo długo i bardzo ciężko oba kraje walczyły.
And for me it's very symbolic that we are here at this place because it's in August, and August is the time several years ago when Georgia had almost disappeared from the map. We were few days away from full disappearance when Russian army was standing at the borders of Tbilisi. They were trying to enter Tbilisi, and we were saved back then by heroic resistance of our own soldiers. But this fact was that we were also saved by Lech Kaczynski, who came, organized international community, came to Tbilisi and physically stood at the defense of Georgia's capital as a front line of freedom. So he carried the spirit of uprising to August of 2008, from August of 1944. And that was highly symbolic. If not for Kaczynski, Georgia as a state would not have existed today.
Pan Kaczyński przybył do Tbilisi i pokazał, jak można zdobyć wolność, jak można być wolnym, jak można czuć się obywatelem.
And there was parallel between 1944 and 2008. In August in 1944.
W 1994
and 2008.
Average day. Do dzisiejszego dnia.
And the thing is that the history of Warsaw Uprising is history of great heroes but betrayal. Betrayal by great powers. Back then, the United States refused to send reinforcements at the beginning.
Polska jest bardzo dobrym przykładem na wyzwolenie, na bohaterstwo.
And betrayal. And betrayal as well.
I betrayal. Zrada.
Because the Americans refused to send initially the reinforcement. Americans initially didn't send the planes to help initially.
Of course, Ameryka miała nam pomóc, no ale niestety tak się nie stało. Amerykańskie wojska lotnicze miały wyzwolić.
That's why I was so proud when Donald Trump came here, the American president, that finally said what had to be said. That was the greatest fight for freedom of 20th century.
Bardzo zadowolony z tego, że Trump przybył do Polski i pokazał, że docenia naszą walkę i docenia naszą wolność.
Together with President Kaczynski, I opened the monument to Georgian officers who died in Warsaw uprisings alongside the Poles, and I'm very proud of that. The fact is that and this is the story, that Georgian officers fought alongside with Poles to protect Poland's independence, to protect the idea of Poland, and then President of Poland fought in Georgia in 2008 to protect the idea of Georgia.
Dzisiaj pan prezydent z panem prezydentem Kaczyńskim otworzyli pomnik żołnierza gruzińskiego który walczył tutaj za wolność.
And today as well. And then he protected our freedom in Georgia. He came to Georgia to protect Georgia's freedom.
A także przybył po to, żeby wyzwolić, dać wolność.
The idea of President Kaczynski was an example of the fact that heroism is not old-fashioned. Heroes don't exist only in history because his parents were part of the uprising. Heroes can exist in today's time. If you are born hero, you die as hero, as President Kaczynski did.
Pan prezydent Kaczyński jest dobrym przykładem. Jeżeli urodziłeś się bohaterem, umrzesz jako bohater. No i trzeba z niego brać przykład. Bądźmy bohaterami.
And the thing is that we know it all too well because I happen to be also very active in Ukrainian politics these days, and we also stand up for injustice. We also fight for the same things. Again, Poland is standing by Ukraine. Georgian soldiers came, officers came this time from Georgia to protect, this time not Poland but also Ukraine, and are fighting in Eastern Front exactly like we are fighting here with heroic Poles.
Żołnierze z Gruzji przybyli, żeby walczyć za wolność, będą walczyć.
We fought here with the Poles, and then we are fighting now Eastern Front in Ukraine.
Teraz walczą tutaj.
And we are together now with I'm here represented with member of Ukrainian Parliament, with members of our regional council from Ukraine, and they, as all of you, are very proud of what Poles have achieved in this uprising, because Poland not only saved its freedom, Poland became a role model for all of us, including Ukrainians, Georgians, everybody else in the region. Poland is the leader of this part of Europe and the symbol of freedom for this part of Europe.
Polska jest przykładem dla innych krajów, jest liderem, bo walczą o wolność.
And finally, I have to tell you, this fight is not won yet. I'm on the front line of it, I know what I'm talking about. We still have to defeat the enemies of freedom. But every day I carry on my fight. I think about heroes of the uprising, Powstania Warszawskiego. I think about this city. You know, the biggest testament of this city is not the buildings. The biggest testament of this city is absence of old buildings. That's what makes Polish nation so great. You know, lots of nations have great buildings, great cities. Warsaw used to be a great city, but the absence of destruction of Warsaw that raised from destruction, is the bigger symbol than if we had kept all the centuries of war, because that's the monument of destroyed buildings are the monument of indestructible soul of Polish nation.
Warszawa jest dobrym przykładem, ponieważ powstała z ruin. Polacy ją odbudowali. Pan prezydent codziennie myśli o powstaniu, myśli o odbudowie i bierze nas sobie za przykład.
So the absence of buildings here is the biggest monument to the destroyed Warsaw is the biggest monument to indestructible Polish people.
Teraz budynki po prostu są bardzo odbudowywane. Nie mogę głośno. Budynki są odbudowywane, budynki są wielkie, Warszawa powstaje.
No. The fact that buildings were destroyed is the biggest testament of undestroyable spirit of Polish people.
Okej. Ponieważ Warszawa była zburzona, odbudowanie budynków to jest duch.
Okay. Anyway, let me finish on that. I will fight this freedom, and every day I fight this freedom in the future. I remember great heroes of Warsaw, and I remember my great friend Lech Kaczynski. I remember what he did for us, what Jarosław Kaczynski did for us in those days, what each of us, you did for us those days. And these are the heroes. And Lech Kaczynski is not just hero of Polish people. He is hero, national hero of the Georgian people. And he's the national hero of Europe and the world, even if some people don't want to acknowledge it. And the fact is that until heroes exist, there is future. Until heroes exist, there will always be Poland. Until heroes exist, there will always be our fight, and our fight will always be victorious in the end. So keep going, my friends. It's a great honor, Małgorzata, to be here because you've done amazing things for lately and for all these years for all of us. Thank you for organizing this great event, and I think Poland will be great and victorious. I'm very proud to wear the symbol of uprising on my jacket. It's a permanent symbol of what I'm doing. I'm a permanent rebel against injustice, against the enemies of freedom, and eternally grateful to you. Whenever my fight is at stake, I come to Poland. I come to Poland for inspiration. I come to Poland to pay respect. I come to Poland to recharge myself because that's where the biggest source of freedom and inspiration is. And that's where the future of Europe lies. Thank you again, my friends. Dziękuję bardzo i za zaproszenie i za